Heidi ho there, friends and neighbors. Bobby here tonight. Welcome to the Thursday night prime time Q&A Mint Hillbilly show. All right, I think we're live. Let me just check my voice here right quick. And I can hear myself over the computer. So if you can hear me, if you can't hear me, just let me know. But I think everybody can hear me. So guys, this is our third show that we're doing here. Second one that we've done on a Thursday night. Hope everybody is liking that Thursday night time slot. So I see we have a couple people out there right now, and we'll give you a few more minutes. And tonight we will definitely be answering any questions that you may have about your car or any type of automotive questions in general. I've got about 30 years of experience as an automotive technician, and hopefully I will be able to answer your question. If I can't, I'll just tell you I can't. And also, if you have any home improvement questions, please just let me know, and I'll try my best to answer them as well. All right. We got 4 people here so far. So if anybody has a question, feel free to just go ahead and type it on in there, and we'll get to it as soon as we can. First of all, we'll let you guys know we have a new email address, and that is minthillbillymail@aol.com. Okay. If I don't answer your question tonight, just email the question to me, and I will try to get back with you as soon as possible. Okay. Guys, remember we are on Patreon. If you want to become a patron, you can for as little as $1 a month. There will be a link below for that, as well as follow us on Facebook and Twitter. There will be links down below for that as well. Okay, so we got 5 people out there now, and we have 1 like. That's awesome. And guys and gals, I don't know who's out there or whatever, I want to give a shout out to my son, Nathaniel, today. He actually graduated middle school, moving on to high school. So proud of my boy. Proud of both of my kids, okay? But today was his big day, and I just want to give him a shout out in case he's watching tonight. He's with his mom tonight. So I'm hoping that he will see this, or at least I'll play the video back for him when he comes back. So anyway, any questions out there, guys, just go ahead and fire away. We'll be here for at least 30 minutes tonight. We may go longer. If the questions keep rolling in, we may go a little longer than 30 minutes. So let's just see. What do we have here? We got, okay, BBQ79. Hello, Bobby. Hello there to you, sir. How are you doing this evening? Hope everybody out there is doing well this evening. And let's see here. What have we done this week? I'll talk a little bit about what we've done this week. Really hasn't been a whole lot, okay? I didn't really get as much accomplished this week as I wanted to, and the weather has been nice, so I've had no excuse. There's been a couple things we've been working on. Working on a little product. Not really going to talk about it too much now until we actually get ready to release it. It may be something that we sell in our eBay store, and we're kind of working on that right now. And I'll talk more about that when we get our final product developed, and we'll definitely let you know what that is. So I did spend a little time working on that this week with some help from my daughter. She's helping me on this project, and going to try to give her a little cut on any profits that we might make to help her have a little bit of spending money while she's at college. So anyway, there you go. We have 7 people out there watching now. Guys, tell me where you're from. Let me know where you're from. I like to know like where people are across the country. We had a lady from Texas last week. We had somebody from up around Jersey that chatted with us a little bit. So you can let me know where you're from. Okay, let's see here. Beach Bum is in Charlotte, North Carolina. And BBQ79 wants to know if I do any gardening. Well, I have done gardening in the past. I kind of wanted to do one this year, but I knew I had all this other stuff going on with the house project and the painting of the garage. We're done with the house now. We're just moving on to the garage, and we still got a few more things to do to the house. We're buying some new shutters. I think we're going to end up having to order the ones that we want to put on, and we're going to put some new gutters up as well. So, but as far as gardening, I have not done a garden this year. It's been a couple years since I've done a garden. I love doing a garden. I love tomatoes and squash and zucchini, and that's usually and cucumbers, and that's usually what I plant. And I love fresh vegetables. But my dad he's growing one this year, and he's already given us a mess of squash, so he may have enough to where he can kind of keep me in some fresh vegetables. Hopefully for a while this summer anyway. So, all right. Any more questions out there, folks? We got 9 people here with us tonight. We have 2 likes. Well, thank you very much for the likes. And thank you all 9 of you for even being here with me tonight. I know there's probably better things on TV to watch than me, so I appreciate y'all being here with me. So, anyway, if you have a question, just fire away. And let's see here. I did bring a tool in today. I'm going to try to promote this a little bit. In one of the videos I released earlier this week, we done a little check engine light diagnosis on what was that, a Hyundai Santa Fe? And I talked a little bit about the scan tool, and I made another little video. I don't even think I've released it yet, but it's on this little Maxi Scan MS509, okay? Kind of an inexpensive scan tool. I think I got this for like $35 off of eBay, okay? And I'll put a link down below if you want to purchase one as well. It's been a good little scan tool. I mean, even if you're not a technician or whatever, sometimes it's good to just have a scan tool that you can go to just to see what the code is on your car, before you actually take it to the repair shop, if that's going to be your intention. But and it's a good little handy one just to have, as a technician as well. So I will definitely put a link to this little scan tool. We'll talk about it a little bit more later. We have a question right now, and it's from Ed Schramm, and he says, hello from Port Dover, Ontario, Canada. Wow, we got somebody from Canada here tonight. Well, welcome. Welcome, Ed. Glad you're here with us. And BBQ79 says, I like my hat. I like my hat. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yep. Alrighty. So, any car questions or home improvement questions that you may have, I'll try my best to answer them for you tonight. And we're going to be here till about 9:30 or so. We may go a little longer. And let's see here. Once again, guys, I'll remind you, in case you just joined us, we do have a new email address. If I don't get to your question tonight or what have you, you can email me at minthillbillymail@aol.com, and I will return try my best to answer your question if you want to email me. We are on Patreon, Facebook, and Twitter, and there will be links down below for all 3 of those if you would like to follow us on those other 3 platforms. Let's see here. Let me talk about this little paintbrush again, okay? This little paintbrush. I talked about it last week. We had someone had actually made a comment on what kind of paintbrush I used when I was painting the house. So I wanted to talk about this little zebra brush here, and we put a link on last week's live feed afterwards. This is a good little paintbrush, and I do plan on making a how-to video sometime this week, like trimming out a window or trimming out a door or something. And I'll definitely use this brush, and you'll see how great it works. And of course, we'll have a link down below for that as well. We got a couple questions here. Let's see, Beach Bum I want to say thank you for the video you did on how to repair a hole in the wall. I had a doorknob hit the wall, and I followed your video, and it's all fixed now. Oh wow, that's awesome. I love that type of feedback when people tell me that one of my videos actually helped them complete a job. And I have a little story about that. A fellow out in California here in a little bit. I may, if we get a little bit of dead time. I got another question right now. But the story I was going to tell you is going to be about a guy that actually roofed his house from watching my videos. But anyway, Pablo, he says, had the 2009 Kia Sedona with 250,000 miles. Hey, Pablo, I remember you from last week. When I changed the oil last time, the mechanic told me to use ticker oil. It must have been thicker oil, okay. I always use 5W20 because that's what it says to put on the oil cap. Okay, well, let's see here. I think I would go with the manufacturer's recommendations. I would rather go with manufacturer's recommendations on weight of oil instead of running thicker oils in cars, even when they're higher mileage. If anything, you may just want to switch over to the high mileage oil, but I wouldn't go changing weights of oil, okay? I think you can actually create more issues with, cold start wear and stuff like that, because the engine's designed to run on that particular oil that manufacturer recommended, and I wouldn't go altering that during the cold start process, because you might actually create some more wear than need be or what have you. So I always recommend just sticking with the manufacturer's recommendations on weight and viscosity. Okay. BBQ79, was I in the Marines? No, sir. I was not in the Marines. I was not in any branch of military. At a young age, I kind of had thoughts of that for a while, but then I got involved in going to trade school and everything, and I got married at a young age, and I got my life kicked off a little quicker than maybe some kids do these days. But that is something that, looking back, I kind of wished I would have maybe served the country. But yeah, the "Don't Tread on Me," the Gadsden flag, I definitely I like that. I like that symbol and everything. And but no, sir, I was not in the Marines. Let's see here. Ed asked, are you going to be doing any more songs? Love the country music. Okay, cool. Yeah, I try to throw a song on here every once in a while. I've tried to keep this mainly, the how-to channel, for automotive and repair and home improvement. But yes, I will definitely throw a song on every once in a while. Since you like it, and I'm sure there's a couple other people out there that may like to hear a country song every once in a while, and I enjoy doing them. But we'll definitely probably maybe we throw one on at least once a week or so, or once every couple of weeks. We'll throw something on. I'll practice up something. But okay. Any more questions? And we do have one. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm going to rat this person out. I know this person that actually has asked this question. And this person is my daughter, my college daughter. She asked, what would the correct ignition timing be on a 1955 Bel Air Chevrolet with a 327 cubic inch engine and 4-barrel carburetor? And guys, if you've ever seen that movie, My Cousin Vinny, when they're in the courtroom and they get up on, she has Vinny's girlfriend up on the bench, and they ask that question. They're trying to figure out if she's qualified to speak on automotive stuff. The attorney asks her that question right there as she answers it. And the correct, actually the answer would be, it's a BS question, because in 1955, The Bel Air did not come with a 327 engine. The 327 engine come out in 1962, and in 1962, the correct ignition time would be 4 degrees before top dead center. So that's your answer, and that's a funny movie, guys. If you never seen My Cousin Vinny, check that thing out. It's a funny movie, very good movie. And BBQ says he likes the country songs. I do too. Country music is definitely my genre of music. I enjoy listening to it and trying to play and sing it as well. And so, any more questions out there, friends? Okay, here's another question. This is also from someone I know, okay? And this is my dad, okay? He says, have you ever set a driveway on fire? Why, yes, I have. When we were living at home, um, back when I was a teenager, and I think I've told y'all this story before, where I was racing cars when I was a senior in high school. After football season was over with, I was racing cars, and we built our own trailer to haul the race car to the track after we got tired of towing it with a tow bar, okay? So we were building a trailer that I actually still own. The trailer that I have is the one that me and my dad built in 1986. And we were still welding on the trailer, and we had went and bought spindles from a junkyard off of an old AMC Gremlins. That they had flat flanges on them, okay? And I was cleaning them up in a bucket of gasoline, okay? I was using gasoline to clean all these parts up where we could bolt them up to the trailer and pack the bearings with grease, okay? Well, that was done, and the bucket of gas was still sitting close by when a little bit later I started welding again, okay? And a spark flew into the bucket, and a big old fire come up, and I got scared. I was like 17, 18 years old, 18 I guess. And I run up to the door. Dad had walked inside to get something to drink, I think. And he come out, and the fire had gotten even bigger, and he grabbed a piece of board to lay over top of it to smother the fire out. But by that time, the plastic bucket had started melting, and the gas started running down the driveway. And then it was just a total panic after that, trying to move cars out of the way. The kid from across the street ran over with a fire extinguisher, and he pulled the pin on it, and it didn't work. And oh man, it was like we were all in fight or flight. I mean, we didn't know what was going to happen next. And Dad finally, he's the only one that kept his composure. I can't remember how we got it out, but we finally got that fire snuffed out, and nothing got damaged or anything. But yes, he will never let me live it down that I set the driveway on fire. And this driveway was like on an incline too, so this gas kept running down the driveway, and it was a pretty big mess there for till we finally got it all put out. And we're just thankful we didn't set the house on fire. Okay, so there you go. That's a story that I didn't really want to tell, but I did. All right, folks, if you have any more questions, just fire away. If you have any questions about your car that I might be able to help you with, just let me know. Okay, Dad reminds me that the fire went out on its own. Okay, I guess that's what happened. It's been a long time. It's been, whoo, 30 something years ago. A long time ago. All righty. So, any more questions tonight, friends? Just fire away. And remember, we do have a new email address, and that is minthillbillymail@aol.com. Okay, Ed's got a question for us there. Let's see. Is it possible to put deck stain in a handheld pressure sprayer without screwing it up. Ed, I've never tried that, but I think that you could. Typically, that deck stain is like an oil base, so it's going to have to be cleaned up, with some mineral spirits or something. But the stuff that I've used before is pretty thin. I've stained a fence out here in my driveway before, and I just stained it by hand, with a big old stain brush. But it's pretty thin stuff, so it should actually spray through a sprayer with no problem. Okay, I would definitely, since it is like an oil-based material, definitely just get it cleaned up. When you're done, don't let it sit up and mess up your gun. But that actually should work pretty good. Handheld pressure spray. Okay, maybe are you talking about like a sprayer for like spraying Roundup and stuff? Maybe that's what you're talking about. A handheld pressure sprayer. Maybe that's what you're talking about, Ed? A sprayer? Okay. I'll wait just a moment. Yes, okay, that's what you're talking about. That might work. That actually might work too. Okay. I thought you was talking about like a little Wagner spray gun or something. But pressure sprayer may work. I have heard stories of someone who actually painted a car one time with a sprayer like that, and it actually turned out looking pretty good. And I've never tried that myself, but yeah, that would probably work pretty good. But like I say, even with that, I mean, that is a oil-based stuff. It's going to be a little tricky cleaning up. You got to clean that tip up good, probably be able to pull the tip of the sprayer off and soak it in some mineral spirits and everything and get it cleaned up good when you're done. Or maybe just buy a cheap one, and spray it and then throw the thing away and don't even bother trying to clean it up, because some of them are pretty inexpensive. That may work. That may work fine. One thing, you're probably not going to get a nice fan. Some of these sprayers, they have like a round spray, and then they have kind of a one that kind of fans out a little bit, but it's not going to be a nice spray pattern like a paint gun would have. That would be the only downfall from that. So anyway. Okay, BBQ 79 says you might have to back roll it. Okay, okay, he's chiming in on our thing here. Let's see. Okay, not sure about it. Okay, he actually made two comments here. He says, okay, you can seal. I know, not sure about the stain. Okay, yeah, he's talking about sealer. Yeah, you can definitely do that. And okay, he's just recommending, Ed, that you might just want to maybe roll it. After you get it sprayed out there, you might have to maybe get a roller and just kind of work it around a little bit, and that may work just fine. That might work fine. I would say go for it. Maybe give it a try. So anyway, any more questions, guys? We have 9 people here tonight and 4 likes. Thank y'all for being here with me tonight. And Ed says thank you. He'll give that a shot. Wants to do some lattice. Oh yeah, that would be great probably for lattice, because that's such a pain to try to brush that, and that'll probably work good on that. That'll be good. Yep, that'll be good. BBQ 79 says that will help even it out. Yep, I would go for it definitely before I'd sit there and try to brush lattice with some stain. And Beach Bum says, yeah, let us know how that works out for you. Leave us a comment on this video after it goes into the regular video series, or come back next week and let me know how that worked out for you. That'd be awesome. Because actually, I was thinking about restaining that fence that I was telling you I stained years ago. And shoot, I might give that a try. I've got a couple sprayers out there, and even if I had one that I had to toss away when I was done with, if I couldn't get it cleaned up, I might give that a try on that wooden fence out there. So that would be awesome. But that'll definitely be after I'm finished with the house totally, my shutters and my gutters and everything. And after I get the garage done, then I'll move on to that. So it'll be a little while. Okay. BBQ79 says he's just used a rag before on lattice. Well, shoot, that might work too. Yeah. So, soak a good rag and just kind of rub it around on there, and shoot, that sounds like that'd be the ticket as well. Because when you're staining like little wood projects and stuff like that, typically I've stained them with a rag before, and or brush it on with a foam brush and then wipe it down with a rag and kind of move some of it around with the rag, so that probably would work just fine as well. All right. Any more questions? Just fire away, friends. We've been on here 26 minutes, and we got a few more minutes to go, but I'll stay longer if you guys want to talk some more. And let's see here. Our email address, new email, is minthillbillymail@aol.com. And guys, we are on Patreon, Facebook, and Twitter, and those links will be down below. Okay, we got another question here. Okay, this is from Dad, and he says it will work. They make one just for that, okay, slightly different nozzle. Can't use it for regular spray. Okay, so my dad, he says they make a spray nozzle for a sprayer that actually will help spray like stains and sealers and stuff like that. Yeah, he's got a deck down there, so and I think he's sprayed it with like Thompson's water seal several times. So he's probably used that. Okay, so that might be some advice that can help you out there, Ed. Okay. All righty. Any more questions out there? Car questions or home improvement questions? Okay. Okay. And BBQ says that he has seen those. All right. Guys, I want to talk one more time about this little scan tool here. It's an inexpensive scan tool that they have them for sale on eBay. This one guy, I think he sold about 20,000 of these things. I mean, they've sold like hotcakes. They're about $35 for the money. I haven't had any problems with it. I've had it probably a year and a half, 2 years now. Still works fine. It gives you the code and a brief definition of the code to kind of get you on track. It also has freeze frame data as well. Good little OBD2 scan tool for $35. It'd be great for any of you young mechanics just starting out there, or just anyone who wants to be able to figure out what the code on their car is, even if they do plan on taking it somewhere else to have it worked on. Okay, so there you go. I will put a link down below for that item for sale on eBay. I think they actually have them on Amazon too. They're a little bit more on Amazon, and it might be a little bit different model. It might be one that's actually a little bit more upgraded. I'll put a link for that as well. But anyway, let's see here. BBQ79 says, I have a box truck that I cannot find a fuel filter. Do they even have one? They should. What year, make, and model is that box truck? And what kind of engine? Is it diesel or gasoline engine? I'll wait just a moment till he responds on that. All righty. Don't know exactly what year that was. Okay, he says it is a 04 3500 van, 6.0 liter, so I'm assuming that's a Ford, right? The 6.0 liter. It should have It should have a fuel filter. Let's see, 6.0. That is that a gas engine or diesel? I can't remember. There's so many different ones. Oh, it's a Chevy 6.0. Okay, that's a gas engine on a Chevy. Um, yeah, it should have a fuel filter. I'm trying to think. Uh, fuel filter should be somewhere under the vehicle. Just trace the fuel line, you know, where it goes into the engine compartment all the way back to the gas tank. It should have an inline filter on that truck. And and if you do not see one, it might be an in-tank filter. But a '04, it should have a external filter that can be changed on that filter. It might be tucked inside the frame rail. Might be a little hard to see, but if you get underneath it, if you can get it up on the lift or at least crawl underneath it, and just up there where the fuel lines go up to the engine compartment, just start there and start coming back and just trace that line until you get back to the tank, and somewhere in between there you're going to find that fuel filter. Okay. And another thing, call the parts store. They should have a listing for it as well, and then you'll know for sure if it's one that can be replaced. Okay. Hopefully I answered that question good enough. I'm not that great with the big heavy duty stuff and the diesels. That's not really my specialty, but it should have a fuel filter on it. Let's see. BBQ7, when it gets shook up, it runs like junk. Let it sit and it does better. Okay, what are you referring to that when what gets shook up? I don't exactly follow you there, sir. We'll give him just a moment there to respond to that. When it gets shook up, okay. Okay, the gas tank, okay. Well, you could possibly have some type of trash or something in that tank as well. I would definitely, if stirring things up is actually making the vehicle run bad, you could have some type of trash and or contaminated fuel as well. I would definitely I definitely start with changing that fuel filter, okay? See what that's going to help. And start with that. Do you know if you've gotten any bad gas or anything, or has this been a problem that has just recently started, maybe after you got some fuel somewhere? Okay, I just saw it. Okay, not sure if it's water or trash. Now, there is something you can take, if you got a little bit of water in there, you can take like a little bit of alcohol and pour that into your fuel. I know they put methanol in our fuels today anyway, so it may not even actually be necessary to do it. But those saying was, you know, gas will mix with alcohol, water will mix with alcohol, but water and fuel will not mix. So if you put a little bit of alcohol in your fuel, it'll help mix everything together to help burn all that out of there. And I don't know where you would get actually like a quart of methanol, or a quart, or I wouldn't put too awfully much in there if I was going to do that. But I know these guys that race little go-karts and stuff, these methanol divisions, they get methanol somewhere, probably some little place that would carry like a performance place or something. You might be able to purchase some to pour in there. Let's see here. He says when it's empty and I fill it up, stir it up and make it run. Okay, when you fill it up, yeah, you've definitely got something going on in there then. If it's right after a fill up and it starts running bad after that, you've definitely got something stirred up in there. You may actually want to drop that tank, you know, if you can, and actually see if you can get some of that stuff washed out, and then also put a new fuel filter on there as well. Ed asked, do they make filters built into the tank? Yes, they do. Okay, there are some cars that do not have a service interval change for a fuel filter anymore because the only filter they have is the in-tank filter, and supposedly they're good for 100,000 miles or so. It's basically, I guess, just the sock that's on the tank. I know when I was working at Infinity years ago, I think the I-30s, that was one of the first cars that converted over to that. I can't remember what ranges, early 2000s. Uh, there for a while, we serviced them. You know, part of doing like a 60K or something was changing the fuel filter along with other things, you know, spark plugs and stuff like that. But then one of the year models went away from that. You know, the fuel filter was no longer a serviceable item. That typically you didn't replace it till there was a problem or, you know, 100,000 miles or what have you. And a lot of cars have went to that. I can't name them all off the top of my head, but every once in a while you run across them, and they're the newer ones, of course, that do not have serviceable fuel filters anymore. But typically, most of your trucks and stuff, and diesels and things like that, they definitely, you know, they still have a filter system on them. Okay. So anyway, okay, BBQ79 says that's what I was thinking. Yep. Yeah, I would definitely, like I said, drop that tank, see if you can get all that stuff emptied out, and see what kind of trash and debris is in there, and maybe get some of that stuff rinsed out with some fresh fuel. And it'll give you a chance to take a check the condition of that tank. If you find that your tank is actually like got some rust or something in there, you may end up go ahead and replacing that gas tank. Okay, because if it's got something in there, you know, it's coming apart or what have you, I mean, it could be possible. But I mean, I don't see too much of that around here. But depending on what part of the country you're living in or what have you, you know, that could be part of the problem, and you may just decide to actually replace that tank. But I definitely try pulling the cinder out of it, and cleaning it, and looking down in there with a flashlight, just seeing the condition of the inside of it. Alrighty. Any more questions, guys? We have went about 37 minutes. We got about 8 people here. We got 4 likes. And if you guys would like to ask a few more questions, I'll hang in here for you for a little while longer tonight. And once again, I will, our email address, our new email address is minthillbillymail@aol.com. And you can find us on Patreon, Facebook, and Twitter. And there will be links down below for that as well. Also, I'll put a link to this little scan tool here if anybody's interested in purchasing one of them. And I will put a link to this little awesome zebra 1-inch angle cut paintbrush, a must-have for doing trim work. And I think I pulled that link up and put it on last week's video as well. They got them on Amazon for like less than $10. It's like $7.80 something or whatever. And I'll put that link on here as well. So, any more questions, guys? Fire away. Okay. Last week I mentioned a topic. I don't know if you guys want to get into the discussion of it right now. I figured I would mention it again. Talking about vocation in schools, okay? How they seem to have removed a lot of the vocation in our school system. And let's see here. We got one more question. I'm sure glad tomorrow's Friday. Have a good weekend, everybody. Thanks for the info, Bobby. You're welcome, BBQ79. You have a good Friday as well, and hopefully we'll see you back here next week, okay? Yeah, guys, I want to throw out there, we had mentioned it a little bit last week about how in middle school and high school, some of the high schools, they don't have auto shop class anymore. They don't have woodworking class anymore. And some of them don't even have home economics, you know. And wanted to get kind of, you know, conversation started about that. I was kind of curious how things were in your area of the country. I've talked to a few people that live kind of more so in the rural areas, and it seems that they still have their programs in some of their school systems. But the county that I live in here is a big county. It's one of the biggest, Charlotte. It's one of the biggest cities here, and we have definitely. I think we only have one high school here in Charlotte that actually has an automotive shop program anymore, and I know the teacher that teaches that. I used to work with him, but if he still has a job there, I'm not even sure. I mean, they may have done away with it at that high school as well. And the thing I was thinking about last week was, I think it's good when young children can get their hands on something at a young age, and it might develop an interest for them that can turn into a career for them, because not everyone out there is college material. Okay, and there's a lot of good jobs out there that are going unfilled because people don't have the skills to do them. And if anybody has anything they want to throw in about that, uh, just fire away. We'll talk about it a little bit if you guys would like to. And two people that I know about, two famous that actually try to do something about that is Mike Rowe. Okay, I don't know if you guys know him from Dirty Jobs. He's actually went to Congress before. There's a video here on YouTube where he's actually went to Congress and talked to Congress about this very same topic. He's very uh, he definitely wants to bring vocation back into schools, and he talks about that when he's talking to Congress. And one of the stories that he tells, that as he rounds the country and he gets a chance to talk to a lot of different people, he was talking to I believe a governor of Georgia, and they were talking about that they had funding to build a bridge, down there, and he asked, well, how come we're not building it? How come you're not building it? Because they couldn't find enough certified welders to actually do the job. Okay, so I think there's definitely a demand out there, but we just got to get people more interested in doing some of these skilled laborers. Okay. Kyle, Judy says, got any sweet tea? No sweet tea tonight. I'm actually drinking just some Coke here, just a good old Coca-Cola. Um, but I do have sweet tea in my refrigerator. All righty. All right, guys, I'll put a link down below. Maybe we can talk about that next week. And let's see. Kyle Judy says, I watched your video on that. Okay. On the sweet tea. Yeah, we got a video on how to make some southern sweet tea, if you want to check that out. But anyway, I will put a link down below of Mike Rowe's little conversation with Congress. Also, John Ratzenberger, you remember him as Cliff Clavin on Cheers. He is very active in trying to bring back vocation in schools as well. And I just pulled his name up here a little bit ago, and I put there was an article where he had donated $1 million to try to get shop classes back in high schools. Okay, so he does a lot of stuff like that too to try to promote that. And I'll put links to both of those in this video as well if you guys want to check that out. Okay, now Ed says that when I was going to high school, they had auto, wood, electricity, and many, and not anymore. True, yeah. And I agree. I mean, same thing. When I went to the high school that I went to, they had a shop class for wood shop, and they had an automotive shop. And I know for a fact, because I just checked into it last week, because we were looking at possibly my son going there next year, and they don't have it at all. Okay, neither one of those classes are there anymore. And I just think it's a shame. I think we need to get back to getting some more vocation back in the school system. But, because I remember, back in junior high school is what we called it back then. I remember, the first thing that I made was like a little shelf. Okay, I still have that shelf. It's hanging in the foyer, and we hang jackets and stuff on it. And it's something that I made, good Lord, 35 years ago or longer, And, I can remember every bit of that, And although later on I got a chance to, work with my dad doing construction work and stuff, but still knowing how to build that shelf at a young age, once you've done that and you know that, I mean, you may not ever make a career out of it, but at least like when you get a little older, you get married, and your wife says, "Hey, I'd like a shelf right there. I want to go buy one." At least you'll say, "Well, you know what? I might be able to make us one, save us some money." Because you knew how to do that from back when you were younger. You might not ever take it no further than that, but at least you could be able to, if you got introduced to something like that, when you were young, you might actually be able to, at least make a few things around your house or something, as well. Or like you say, you could, turn it into a whole career. You never know what might happen with that. I think it's a shame that the kids are not even getting a chance to even see what it's like or whatever. But anyway, and Beach Bum says she totally agrees. Well, I agree too. Okay, guys, we've been on here about 46 minutes tonight. And I think I'm going to wrap this up. We can continue this on next week, or we can continue it on in the comments. If you have any other comments that you would like to talk about on this subject here, or any other questions, I'll definitely check them out. And, we can talk about this more next week. We'll definitely be here next Thursday night at 9 o'clock as well. And once again, friends, email address is minthillbillymail@aol.com. And feel free to email me anytime. We are on Patreon. You can support us there if you wish for as little as $1 a month. Link for that will be down below. And you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. Links will be down below for that as well. All right, and I'm also going to post the link to Mike Rowe when he went to Congress. And I'll post a link to the article that I found on Cliff Clavin and donating $1 million. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for being here with me this evening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And we will be here next Thursday, okay? And we got some videos coming up this weekend. I do know I want to make one on trimming out a window with this paintbrush. And we have other evening, friends, and we will see you next time. Take care.